The mashup, if you will. I've got Matt Schlapp with me, former White House political director and former advisor to George W. Bush, and Dana Bash, our chief congressional correspondent. So wonderful having both of you on, and so it begins. Matt, let me just begin with you because we ended with the Jeb Bush soundbite. Let me start. He is the front-running candidate who did indeed show up last night, as we all know. Donald Trump did not, but you read some criticisms this morning, some missing the mark, maybe some nerves there. I mean, we're 2 days out from really the big debate. Where do you think he stands right now?
Look, I think he actually stands in a great place. These formats will be varied. He is not always the best on his feet. He's a little more thoughtful. He'll do better when voters have a chance to actually hear his policy views.
You don't think voters have already heard that, even though, you see the polls, not quite?
Here's the problem with the polls. Most voters have not even started to focus, even on the Republican side, on who their favorite is. These polls, they need screened much more for likelihood to vote. They're kind of all over the map. So Jeb Bush sitting there kind of in second place. My guess is he's pretty happy with that.
Okay. Dana, to you, and it was the Lindsey Graham zinger that's sort of all over when he was ripping Hillary Clinton, and he wasn't the only Republican to do so, we should point out. But you know what they didn't do? They did not mention Donald Trump at all. Is that strategy foreshadowing for the MO come Thursday night?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, you remember what happened the last time Lindsey Graham mentioned Donald Trump, called him a jackass?
Right, that whole cell phone thing?
Yeah, his cell phone ended up,
right.
literally on the cutting room floor. But no, in all seriousness, I absolutely think so. And talking to the campaigns and getting a sense of how they want to deal with Donald Trump and really their other competitors on Thursday night, their whole idea of getting ahead is, first of all, to talk about their own records, but also to do what Lindsey Graham did, is to give Republican voters something to talk about, something to chew on, a little red meat, and that is going after Hillary Clinton. I mean, nothing is more unifying than going after the woman who we think is going to be the Republicans' Democratic opponent. So I think it's absolutely a preview of what's to come. As somebody said to me the other day, there's no point in going after Donald Trump unless you think you can actually knock him out. So just ignore it, or at least use him as a foil, maybe in the case of Jeb Bush.
On that, Dana, let me follow up to that. Matt, I promise I want to come back to you, but since you just talked to Donald Trump last week, how then does Donald Trump handle the other candidates not dealing with him on that stage front and center Thursday?
I think he's not going to deal with the others either. I really do. Maybe I'm going to be completely surprised, but I think he's going to be, as he likes to say, Donald Trump, which means he's going to talk about the things that he likes to talk about. If he is pushed personally, he will push back, but because I don't think that's going to happen, I think that those of us who are looking for a real personal boxing match, maybe we'll be disappointed.
Not going to find it. Matt, there are, just so we're clear, there's the big main event debate, right? And that's later. That's prime time.
That's right.
Then you have the earlier debate, the second tier debate, the JV debate, whatever you want to call it. The undercard debate. But then you have this one argument could be that these candidates actually have a better chance to shine. They do not have Donald Trump out there potentially, overshadowing them. How do they take advantage of that stage?
I think you're right. I think there's a real good chance that that's a really great debate, and there's no studio audience or a limited one. So, it's going to be them talking about the issues. And by the way, a smaller number. This issue of 10 people participating in a debate, it's a very legitimate problem. In the end, a debate is a television show, and you've got to be able to have it flow. And one of the reasons why you're not going to have a lot of back and forth on the primetime debate is because with 10 people, they each get about 5 minutes.
Right.
That's
it's not a lot of time, and it's all about, I hate to say it, but maybe more style over substance. You want the soundbite that we'll all be mishmashing through the next day.
That's right. So that undercard debate, I think, will be really interesting and will have an impact on this race.
Okay. Mishmash, by the way, very technical TV term. Dana Bash and Matt Schlapp, thank you both so much.